As a designer, you never really know who you'll be working with next. One day it's a fitness coach looking for a sleek AI-powered platform. The next, a sneakerhead looking for a high-energy streetwear-inspired storefront. And that's why in today's video, we're kicking off a brand new series, Design with Diego, and that's me. We've created a set of user personas, each representing a different type of business owner who needs a new website. And to keep things fun and unpredictable, we'll spin a wheel and let fate decide who we'll be designing for today. Will it be Noah Patel, the custom sneaker designer, or Jason Miller, the AI-powered Noah Patel, the creative genius behind HypeKicks Lab? Noah's goal is to create, Noah's goal is to create an interactive streetwear-inspired website where sneakerheads can customize their own kicks, browse past designs, and place custom orders. So here's the game plan. Build a high-energy, bold aesthetic that screams sneaker culture, and make sure the site has interactive features to preview the sneakers and to let customers visualize their designs. And of course, we'll throw in some smooth animations and bold typography to keep it fresh. Now, since we'll only be doing the design today, we might just talk through some of those different transitions and smooth animations. But let's go ahead and jump into the wireframing process. When designing a landing page for a brand like HypeKicks Lab, the first step is to think about the flow of the page. We need to hook visitors right away with a bold hero section, maybe a big rotating sneaker model or dynamic text animation. Let's go ahead and start blocking out this wireframe. So as you've seen in my previous videos, in my one previous video I guess, I like to start with the navigation, really. So let's go ahead and just pop a navigation in here, quick nav, just kind of get some things flowing. And if you see me look, we want to have our navigation up here, and then we know we want to have our hero section following that. Now here's the thing about the hero section is we know we want to include some type of maybe 3D model of some sorts. Not really sure what we're gonna do there just yet, and how we're gonna make that work into the design, but we might figure it out kind of as we're going. That's kind of like the fun part about design, is that you there are times when you don't really know the right answer, and then as you're going through and you're working, you end up discovering an answer you didn't really think was there. We might have our sneaker here, we'll have that probably centered, right? So we have this going on. We also need some type of call to action. Like, that's the other big thing, right? We are trying to sell sneakers. We're gonna have this will represent our shoe. I'm not really sure where I want to put it yet, but we'll probably have it over here. And then let's go ahead and start laying out some text. Okay, so we need to have our header. So for our header, we know that the business name is HypeKicks Lab, and we also know that they have this little tagline. This is their main tagline. So let's see if we can work this in somehow. Also, you want to think about how these lines of text are kind of breaking up, and you want it to make sense. You want it to look good. Then down here we'll throw some text. All right, and then let's go ahead and move into some type of call to action. So let's go ahead and just break this down into something usable. All right, we're just gonna slap it there for now. Again, no final decisions. We're really just trying to break things out, right? So let's continue, and let's go ahead and just make this bigger. All right, cool. Next thing is here. One thing I forgot was, let's go ahead and kind of lay this out. So we think about kind of what a store needs. When you're laying out your navigation, you kind of want to think about what the store needs, and when laying out your navigation, to ensure that it doesn't get confusing, you want to use the latch method, and that stands for location, alphabet, time, category, and hierarchy. Go ahead and throw a layout grid on here. In order to keep your design aligned properly, you ideally want to use a grid. I like to use 12 columns if I'm laying out a web page, that is. There we go. I want to make sure this button is big and noticeable. Alrighty, and then we might want to throw in some icons. Right on the hero icons we go. Let's get a heart. I think that's good for now. For now, we'll just throw in about where we want our logo. We're back. So as you saw there, I started adding in some colors. Now here's the thing you gotta think about with colors. Alright, and we are back. So the thing here is that with the logo, we can't really get rid of the background, right? And it's just like a dark background. So we kind of have to make this navigation dark. I mean, it just is what it is. Sometimes you have constraints like that and you have to figure out a creative solution around it. The other solution I have, or had thought of, was just having the text kind of logo. And maybe if this company did have a text logo, that is probably what we would have gone with in order to create that real nice and sleek look. Something sort of like that, and would have just had that up there. But I wanted to do the actual logo for this one, and you know, if this was an actual client, I'd probably take this into Illustrator and get all of this stuff cleaned up just by hand. Probably just take out the words here, or just cut out this in particular. But that way you would be able to put it in there. And most businesses will have some type of logo where, you know, there's not all this extra stuff going around. But I had ChatGPT make these up real quick. So next is CTA. CTA buttons are everything. For a brand like this, we want big, bold, in-your-face action buttons. Now for these, this one is massive, as you can tell. So we need to beef this one a bit up. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bring it to 24, and let's make sure everything here is aligned properly. Do something sort of like that. Place to replace. Get rid of this guy. Now we want this to say something to really invoke the user. Let's have it say shop now. That works. I added in this rectangle and it gave us kind of like this cool hover effect. I think I'm just gonna take that, repeat it over here. Boom. Now it looks like it's floating above the page. How cool does that look? Awesome. All right. Next thing is we want to swap this out for Babus anew. Next thing is we want to adjust our copy so that it is lining up properly and breaking off where we want it to break off. So let's continue. Now, most of our headers are going to be the Babus anew. So let's go ahead. So I really hope I'm saying Babus new. I really don't know how to say it, but you know what? It is what it is. 48 is not bad. I just have to roll with that. Try to drop this down. High quality shoes. What our clients say about us. Next thing, we need to throw in some shoes. So let's go ahead and open up Unsplash. Do this one, looks pretty sick. And kind of want to give it some color. Cool. Next, let's go ahead and move on. Oh, getting ahead of myself here. Let's see here. Okay, so these are looking pretty good. What I'm looking at here is the hierarchy in the fonts, right? So we have our bold, we have our medium, but we also have it at 75% opacity. We might even want to drop that down even more. We still want it to be readable and want to think about accessibility, but we also want it to look good. Something like that. Next thing is this pricing needs to stand out a little bit more. So let's just bring that up to semi-bold. Yeah, that's better. Cool. We might want to add a shop now or shop all button right up here. Now I'm just gonna line this up at the bottom of that and the right of this. Boom. We really want it to stand out. Also allows us to extend this out. All right, center that up, perfect. Make sure this one is centered as well. Cool. That just allows us to go up here just so this looks better. Let's change. Okay, 54 it looks like. That's about good. There you go. So if you ever want to make a realistic looking shadow for one of your images, all you have to do is create a rectangle in Figma, add a layer blur, and just max that John out. For the color, you want to keep it at a nice light gray, but you can play around with that. And then you'll end up with something similar to this. Again, we want to make these these action buttons really stand out. So let's go ahead and make them that beautiful yellow. We'll keep this. Let's move this to an F2. I know it's not much different, but that is what our actual color scheme is. Keep that at white. These will change to F2 as well. But we're also gonna add a stroke. We're gonna keep it black, but we're just gonna drop down the opacity, probably down to like 10. All right, perfect. Awesome. It looks good. And same thing here. Stroke. And the reason why this works well is because it's on the inside, and so it kind of just darkens that lip right there. Let's move on to our testimonials. Now we kind of jumped around for a bit there. All right. So the way we're gonna do this is I'm going to lay out another rectangle, right? And then we're gonna make this a circle. So let's go ahead and make this 50. We're probably only gonna have it at like, let's just try 50. See what that looks like. Let's do 16 times 5, probably better. Cool. And then we are going to slap in one of these. These are perfect, it works. And I'm going to center this up, perfect. All right, nice. Now we want this to stay a good spot. Add a name, so let's call him Tyler Williams. Looks like a Tyler Williams. We're at, let's move up here. Probably have to bring this up about 24. So that looks good. We can do actually, we can do a 4. Let's do a star rating here. A 5. 6 field star. Cool. Probably want these about there. Always want to be very intentional about everything you do on your website. You want it all to look consistent, the same. This and bring down to 8 actually. Let's center this right here so that we have these update and just have it run off if it's a certain size. So it's too big that way. All right, we just copy and paste these over here. Paste replace, boom. Honestly, I'm going to I want it just a tad bit lighter, like right there, you know. And we'll just manually adjust that, and drop that appearance down to about 50. There you go. Newsletter. We actually might just block this out in that gray. That would look pretty good. All right. Bring this back up to our white. And just like that, HypeKicks Lab is live. Let's do a quick breakdown of what makes this design work. First off, we have a hero section. Big, bold, high impact sneaker imagery with ideally a parallax scrolling effect. So once we start scrolling down, this shoe starts moving. Right now, it's already popping off the page and it's already making me want to buy a shoe or at least see what this company, this place has to offer. Next up, we have their popular products. Right here, we have a list of shoes, the Patel, the Diego, and the Jerry. Of course, gotta have the best one here at the middle, the Diego. That's gonna be my favorite, my go-to. But I think the popular products works great here because the user can hop in and see, okay, what is pretty much the best of the best? What does this company have to offer that's just ready to go, ready to buy? And then we have our shop all over here. So if the user likes what they see here and they might wanna explore what else we have, they can go check that out over here at the shop all. As we continue going down, we want to build that trust. Okay, so we want to let them know we want to know more about the user, or not the user. We want to know more about the company, right? So this is more about us, what we provide. We provide high quality shoes. Again, we have another shoe image here. We have our heading over here. We have our quick call to action. So they see this, they want it, boom, we can add it to cart. But also, I might even want to switch this to learn more or something like that, since we do have an about us and it's kind of like an information kind of section. Now below that, we have our testimonials. So this is where they can learn more about what the other people who have already used this website, what they have to say, how it went for them, and what their review was, of course. So these ideally we'll probably tie them to Google reviews, so that way they can just click on them and go straight to your Google listing. And then below that, we have our join our newsletter. So if they want to sign up for, new drops, anything like that, good deals going on, they can do that. And then below is our footer, which we would have our social media links down here. And then we have our sitemap and our company. So this would be more about like careers, maybe other policies, stuff like that. And like I mentioned earlier with the whole logo, this is what I was thinking as far as a text logo. Just something like that, where it's just HypeKicks, looks pretty nice, pretty clean, pretty slick, and it would work great. Now, depending on the business, they might want to just keep this one, right? Just their regular logo. And if this is the only one they had, then that is what we would put in there, and we'll just make sure that it looks great. But I think overall, the final design came out looking amazing, honestly. This site is all about speed, style, and seamless UX, just like a perfect sneaker drop. And that's a wrap on episode 1 of Design with Diego. What do you think of this sneakerhead inspired website? Would you cop a pair from HypeKicks Lab? Let me know in the comments. Next episode, who knows? It could be an AI fitness coach, a haunted escape room, or a luxury pet hotel. Now make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next random design challenge.